Okay, so I've got a diamond plate here. It's a diamond card. I think I paid like $12 for it at Turner's Warehouse. It's just a diamond encrusted stainless steel plate right here. That's what we're gonna use. And then I've got two carbide tips here because I use two different chisels here. This is for a Rikon 7800, which is this guy here. That's my main turning chisel. And then this is for a Win indexable chisel, which is a lot smaller, much more suited for the small lathe I have. And you can see on the bottom here, this carbide, it's indexable, but they also put these grooves in here, which means you can only use this carbide specifically designed. But it is a lot easier to make sure that you're perfectly flat and flush with it. So I'm going to show you how to sharpen these on a diamond plate. And I don't have any lapping fluid, so I've done a fair bit of research to look at the best way to do this. Some people don't use anything, they just use a dry plate. But with carbide, you can actually end up smoothing out the diamonds over time, and so you'll end up having to replace your diamond card over time. So to do that, you want a little bit of lubricant. So the other thing is some people will use different types of oil. The ideal thing is to use lapping fluid, which is a very low viscosity type of lubricant. You don't want a high viscosity lubricant on here because you won't actually make enough contact with the diamond crust to do anything to the carbide. So it'll look like you're sharpening it, and you will get a little sharper, but it won't be as sharp as you can get it. I did some research online. I asked a whole bunch of people in the turning community, probably reached out to a few different groups that have about 5,000 to 15,000 people in those groups. And the best answer I heard so far from any of these, it was surprising, Windex. You can see I mean, Windex has got a little bit of lubricant type of properties to it. It is very thin. So I'm gonna show you first my trash carbide is what I call it, because I use this carbide to turn down stone inlay. Whenever I do inlay and stuff like that, I use this carbide to get it down so that I don't dull my expensive one very quickly. So the first thing, you want to make sure your card is clean with no debris or anything on it, and you want to spray Windex and have it covering the entire card. You never want to sharpen on just one piece of your card. You want your card to wear and age together. So you want to move in a circular fashion all the way around the card. I go back and forth. And you'll start to see that this is turning a dark color. And that's actually from the carbide. So you just turn it for a few seconds, and you can see already that that's doing pretty well. I've got some nicks taken out of this one, so I'm gonna do a little more sharpening on this little one because I have chipped this carbide and I just don't want to replace it. So call me cheap, but I'm a little cheap. So we're gonna go to that one. And you don't want to apply a lot of pressure. You just want to apply enough pressure to where you can feel the surface of the diamond card through the carbide. So if you do it real soft, you won't feel anything. If you do it real hard, it'll feel real like rubbing a grinder. And you don't want either of those. You want enough to be able to feel that surface. And then you get done, dry it off. You always want to make sure your carbide and your diamond card are completely dry. The best thing about using Windex is Windex dries out completely, so you don't have to worry about water getting into your card. So so that one's done, and then you can see the material that came off the blade. So I'm going to remove that, and start with another coat so I can do my Ricon tip. And this is working phenomenally for me. I don't need to get any expensive lapping fluid, and I don't have to get another oil that gets stuck in the card. And I'm not using water, which can cause rust and oxidation. So you just go through this. This one was not near as dull as my Win carbide. So the other thing is you want to make sure your tip is clear of any like leftover CA or finishing polish or anything that builds up on these tips over turning. So you can see right there, if you could feel it, yeah, that feels like a blade on the side now. So my next pin I'm going to turn with this, and so you'll see that it does work. But then all you do is rinse it off with the Windex, and she's going to dry up just fine without any debris or anything left over on it. And you can know that your card's going to last a long time. So that's a cheap, easy way. Always have that, and you don't need to spend money on the lapping fluid. And it's the same end result. So, and you're not getting oil stuck here. So that's it, guys. I hope you find that to be helpful.